What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another very special episode of the Burnout Brighter podcast, E3/Summer Game Fest special. This post show is going to be all about the Xbox Bethesda conference. It just ended a few minutes ago, and man, we got a lot of games. Darren, before we get into the game specifically, can you tell me a little bit about what you thought of the show as a whole?
I was actually very impressed. I am a hard person to impress, but I think it was a really good presentation. This is the one that I was the most curious about coming into E3 because I was like, what's Microsoft going to do? Are they going to push exclusives? Are they going to, try and show how many games they have? Are they going to explain what happened with Halo? Why did it disappear? So it's like, I think Microsoft had a lot to prove coming in, and I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think this was by far the best Microsoft Xbox press conference we've had in quite a while. It was
Yeah.
tight. They didn't go overboard with the talking. Almost, it was just like, it was very much what PlayStation has started doing with just like gameplay, trailer. Like there was a lot of stuff shown. And the most impressive thing is like almost every single thing that they showed off was coming to Game Pass. It just
Yeah.
furthers this whole idea that Game Pass is just the best deal in gaming. There's
Yeah.
so much coming, and it's not even just first party stuff anymore. So I really liked what they were doing there. But the big giant space-sized asterisk for me, right at the top of the show, they started with Starfield. We got a short cinematic trailer that showed some space, that showed a ship, that showed the release date of November 11th, 2022.
And that was it.
Confirmed it was an Xbox exclusive, and that's it. There was what? Like, come on, really?
Yeah. I think that I was hugely disappointed. Like they did the right thing coming out with Starfield out the gate, and they did the right
Mm-hmm.
thing pushing that it was going to be exclusive because there's a lot of people that were still in the stage of denial that Bethesda was going to become exclusive. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it doesn't look like a game to me yet. I still don't know what kind of game it is. It's kind of crazy, but at least we got a release date coming out next year, and it's going to be exclusive.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I think you're right. Like, I'm glad they started with it and kind of got it out of the way, especially if that's all they were showing for it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like, I think this is partly just a victim of the hype and the rumor mill with how many rumors going around that was like Starfield is this year, Starfield is early next year. Like, I think a lot of people's expectations were higher for this game, my own included. I'm not impervious to this. I get very quickly suckered into the hype.
Mm-hmm.
So I was expecting more from Starfield, but I'm guessing we'll see more as time goes on. November 11th, 2022. We'll see it when it's ready.
Yeah.
The next big trailer that we got was Stalker 2. We had Ed Sheeran sitting around a campfire. Not actually, but they had like
Russian
a bunch of guys
Ed
talking,
Sheeran.
cutting to Russian Ed Sheeran, showing a bunch, some gameplay thrown in. There was a big shootout. There was like a swamp with like a tornado where a monster basically exploded. April 28th, 2022. The game looks beautiful, coming to Game Pass. I thought this trailer went on way too long, and that's not just like the game itself looks great. And I know you're curious about Stalker, Darren. So tell me, what did you think of the
Mhm.
Stalker trailer?
I think it was a good showing of the game, especially. Well, I was gonna say especially people who've never played Stalker, but I think that might actually have the opposite effect because Stalker, the original, I've never played it, but it's a game that's been on my radar for a long time. It's not a game with a ton of action. It's one of these like immersive survival sims in the style of like a System Shock or like a Prey, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not action minute to minute gameplay. And I think this trailer kind of oversold the action element. I
Uh-huh.
don't really doubt that the game is going to be true to the original. Uh and I was very excited as someone who already knows about Stalker's deal, but I get the
Mm-hmm.
feeling there's going to be some disappointment when the game comes out if people are like, "Where's all the crazy shootouts? Why am I not blasting an alien in the face?" But I am very excited, and the thing I'm also curious about, and I haven't confirmed this before recording, but they called it a
Mm-hmm.
console launch exclusive. So I'm wondering, is there actually going to be a PS5 version?
I wonder. I mean, coming April 28th, 2022, so it's a little ways out. We'll fact check ourselves real quick here as information rolls out, as it usually does after the conference, but it is coming to Game Pass.
Mhm.
The next thing that we got was Back for Blood. The game still looks fun. There's a bunch of hordes. There looked like a giant monster. They talked about a PvP mode where you can be humans against zombies. This game continues to look great. I mean, it's just Left for Dead, with a different skin on it. The most exciting parts, October 12th, 2021, coming to Game Pass day and date. I think, Darren, this game looks like a lot of fun. I'm just sick of seeing it at this point. I feel like we've seen a lot of it in a short time, and I feel like it just needs to go away until like the week before launch.
Yeah, I agree. And I will also confirm, I just double checked, Stalker 2 is getting a PS5, PS4 release in the future. It is just launch
There
window
you go.
exclusive to Xbox. But like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. This game was just announced, what, like a few months ago, and I already feel like
Mhm.
we're just gotten content overkill from the game. I like the game.
Yeah.
It's at the point where if I see more of it, I might want to not play it anymore. I don't know what it is. I think it's like the game has such a simple concept. It's like, yeah, zombies, multiplayer. It's like Left 4 Dead. Yeah, I get it. You
Yeah.
don't have to keep telling me about it.
Yeah, I don't think I think it's just there's just been way too much of it. And then that's not a slight against the game itself because it looks interesting and it looks like a lot of fun. It just needs to go away until October 12th. And Game Pass, I think, is a great get for that
Mhm.
ecosystem. Getting a multiplayer game like that on Game Pass will probably help it grow its community pretty quickly. So I'm really excited to jump into it when the time comes. The next thing that we got was Contraband, an Xbox console exclusive. We didn't get much from it. We got a short cinematic trailer confirming that it was a co-op open world game. It was in like this kind of like giant garage style. There was boxes lying around, people working on cars. I got very much like a mercenary style, like those old school PS2 and GameCube Xbox games. Um, we don't know anything else about it. Darren, any thoughts on Contraband?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's being done by Avalanche. I like Avalanche. They don't make like the best games ever, but usually there's something interesting with their games. And I mean, Mercenaries was a really cool game back when it came out on the PS2. If it's like that, I'd love to play something like that. I hope we get a little bit more of a press release in the future that kind of details it more. But I'm
Yeah,
curious.
yeah, no gameplay or anything else, but I'm sure we'll get more from that soon. We got a big Sea of Thieves update confirming there's like a whole Jack Sparrow, Davy Jones story DLC. It
Yeah.
looks lengthy, called Pirate's Life, coming June 22nd. They showed a bunch of cinematics. The voice actors seemed really, really good, whoever they are, emulating that Jack Sparrow kind of swagger in his voice. It looks like fun. I still never played Sea of Thieves. It's something I've always been curious about, but I've just never jumped into. I think like when they first started the trailer, I thought it was just going to be a simple skin, but it looks like they're going full board with story content. I think it looks fun. Darren, what did you think about Jack Sparrow coming to Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It looks really fun. I also have not played Thieves because this is the thing. Like both of us this last generation were coming from an almost entirely Sony exclusive perspective in
Mm-hmm.
terms of like the two
Yep.
big consoles. We both have Switches and stuff. But so I missed out on a lot of the Xbox games. Sea of Thieves is one of those games that I really, really did want to play, despite people saying it was kind of devoid of content. But this is makes me really happy to see that they're still supporting it like years
Mm-hmm.
later. Uh, and this is one of those games that again, it's like, well, if I'm getting an Xbox and I'm getting this on Game Pass, like that's a like what I'll say is overall, and we'll talk about this at the end for final impressions, but a lot of these exclusive
Mm-hmm.
that they've shown me, there wasn't one that was like, I need an Xbox for this. But Sea of Thieves is one of
Yes.
those things where it's a lot of small things that add up. And there's so many smaller, like, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, that eventually I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of good stuff.
I agree. They are really making Game Pass a better and better deal. So that Pirate's Life update coming to Sea of Thieves June 22nd is right around the corner. The next thing we got a bit of a mini announcement. Another Game Pass thing. Yakuza 7 is on Game Pass today, and I don't want to hear anything from any one of you who has Game Pass and isn't playing this game. It is one of the best JRPGs out there. It is my personal game of the year so far. Yakuza Like a Dragon, go play it, and that's all I'm going to say because all the rest of the Yakuzas are there. 7 is a fantastic jumping on point. If the action combat of the other ones didn't do it for you, this is turn-based. Just go friggin' play Yakuza Like a Dragon. Moving on, we got our first gameplay demo of Battlefield 2042. They showed off a grappling hook that they used to kind of scale this like giant crane. We got a big flying jet. There was a tank that was airdropped in. We saw a massive sandstorm. It looked like they were able to swap out gun attachments in real time in like this elevator sequence. Wingsuit, there was a massive tornado. The game looks beautiful. Coming October 22nd, 2021. This was one of the few games that did not get a Game Pass announcement, but I'm very, very excited for this. I mentioned before that I'm a little bit worried with the full price point for a multiplayer only game. I'm curious how that will do against something like Warzone or Fortnite, but I think it looks really, really fun. Darren, any feelings about Battlefield 2042?
Yeah, I guess because we didn't get a game announcement now, it's probably pretty safe to confirm, because I know there was some speculation. It's probably pretty safe to confirm at this point we'll not get a day and date Game Pass release. Maybe Game Pass in the future, but not at launch. For me, Bad Company 2 was pretty much the only Battlefield game that I really dedicated a lot of time in. I tried 3 a little bit. People said that 4, you yourself said that 4 really improved on 3, so maybe I should have gone back and played that. But Rush Mode is what I always used to play. I know that's not in Battlefield 5. They haven't detailed how their all-out war mode is supposed to work. So I want to flip the script and just ask you, do you have any really interesting thoughts as the Battlefield fan?
I'm just really stoked for it. The good thing about Microsoft Game Pass, and again, with the whole EA Play being in this, like you could play a certain amount of a new game for free. I think it's something like 10 hours or depending on the game. So if you're curious about Battlefield and you have Game Pass and EA Play is rolled in properly, you can give the game a whirl. I'm excited. I love Battlefield. I've played every major Battlefield since 1942. This looks like more of that, just a little bit wilder. The tornado looks cool. I'm stoked that there's a map in Korea. I'm very excited to get my hands on it when the time comes. The next thing that we got a short 12 minutes trailer. We have seen a ton of this game, but we got confirmation that it is console launch exclusive, coming August 19th, 2021, so just a few months away, and will be on Game Pass. Darren, I know we're both hyped about 12 minutes. Is this another reason why Game Pass is awesome?
Yeah, 100%. Like, we just got off of the Guerrilla Collective and the Wholesome Indies Direct, which I know I was not officially involved. I was there in spirit for one and then not there at all for the other, but I did watch those. And one of my comments when I was watching them is there are so many amazing indie games coming out that my wallet cannot buy them all. So the benefit of Game Pass is something like this, although granted, I think this one I would go out of my way to buy based on what I've seen.
Yes.
I can try them at very little cost to myself. So this is without a doubt why Game Pass is so awesome, is for games like this.
12 minutes, looks amazing. A stacked voice cast with James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, Willem Dafoe, coming August 19th, 2021. Then, Darren, I'm going to let you run with the next one. Psychonauts 2, August 25th, coming to Game Pass. Tell me why this is fun.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to just, while I'm talking, type in really quickly when it was first revealed, because I want to know when it was first announced. Or can you look that up while I'm talking? Because I think it was first announced in 2014. I can't remember. I frigging loved the first Psychonauts game so much. Psychonauts 1 is without a doubt one of my top 20 favorite games of all time. I have been so excited for Psychonauts 2 since they announced it. And to see that it's coming out August 25th makes me so damn excited. These games are just so inventive. The writing is like bar none. No one writes comedic dialogue like Double Fine does. And it looks like this game's a lot more like detailed and like polished than the first one, because the first game combat was kind of an afterthought. In this game, they've worked all of your psychic moves, because you're like a guy with psychic powers and you're like going into people's minds, so your psychic powers look better integrated into the combat. The worlds look bigger. It just looks just like a better game, and it's finally coming August 25th. My only question, I know it's not console exclusive, and I know it's not console. I think it's not console launch exclusive. I just want to make sure that it's releasing day and date on PS4 as well, so that I can buy it
As
day and date.
as far as as far as I can tell, it is coming day and date to every major console,
Okay.
not the Switch, but and to answer your earlier question, it was unveiled at the Game Awards 2015, so almost 6 years ago now, and it's
Insane.
finally
I am
coming.
so excited. Matt, do you
It's
have
finally coming,
any
dude.
hope in your heart or any just bone in your body that wants to try it at all?
Couldn't care less. Moving on. We got a Game Pass segment next. They confirmed that Doom Eternal's coming. There's a whole bunch of Bethesda games. They were talking about how there's now going to be 30 Bethesda games available on the service. We got a bit of Fallout 76 stuff, some Steel Rain, a new expansion coming July 6th, and a new expedition coming in 2022 focused on the Pit in Pittsburgh. They got a short segment about Elder Scrolls Online, talking about their new DLC and how there's more stuff coming. Then we got Party Animals, which is basically Gang Beasts, but you're animals, and there are also items. The game looks super, super cute. Console launch exclusive coming 2022, also to Game Pass. If you've seen Gang Beasts, you know what this game is. It's exactly the same thing. But they have like items. They were throwing bombs, and there was something that you can like kind of pick up weapons and use them a little bit more, which in Gang Beasts you can't really do. Darren, what did you think about Party Animals?
At what point does influence stop and plagiarism begin? Because it looks like Gang Beasts with different characters and items. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah, the game looks like a lot of fun, and I'm sure it's going to be a great time. I'm excited about it. I've had my eye on this game for a little bit. It looks cute. It looks fun, and the items look to be enough of a gameplay change-up, but we'll see. Come in 2022, Xbox console exclusive, and to Game Pass. Then we got a quick Hades trailer confirming that it's coming out physical August 13th, 2021. Then we got a new trailer for a new game called Summerville, and this is another console launch exclusive coming in 2022, also to Game Pass. What we saw in the trailer was a family like just kind of resting on this couch. It looks kind of dark. It looks kind of grim. I got very much like Inside vibes from it, as it looks like this family will be going on some adventure to some sort of safety. It looks kind of dark and messed up. There was points where like the dad looked like lying on the ground, almost like he was dying or hurt. And there was like a toddler running around. It looks very atmospheric. Looks very, very interesting. And this is probably one of my standout moments from the conference, because I think the game looks really, really interesting. Darren, what thoughts did you have on Summerville?
I'm actually shocked to hear that it was one of your standout moments, considering that after the press conference ended and I saw this game's name on our list, I couldn't remember what the game was. And you described it to me, and I still could not remember what the game was. And we watched the conference 5 minutes ago. So it looked very fine to me. It looked like a lot
Yeah,
of other games of its type.
I like playing those kinds of games once in a while, and like it's been a second since I've played a game of that nature, so I think that's why it stood out to me.
Right.
But yeah, it's going to be a little bit more until we see more from that game. 2022 Game Pass. Then we got a lengthy Halo segment confirming that the multiplayer will be free to play and stand alone. Also confirming that both the multiplayer and the single player will be launching on the same date, both on Game Pass this holiday season 2021. They haven't confirmed a full date yet, I'm sure, because of COVID and everything else. Like a lot of other games in this situation later this year, they're just waiting until it's completely ready. They showed off a short segment of the single player. Chief looked like he was in space or some sort of zero-G environment, going through different areas. He was talking to an AI that basically says Cortana was deleted. She thought that Chief gave the order. Chief says he has no memory of doing that. So now they're trying to figure out what's going on. He downloads her, and that's kind of where the single player stuff ended. Multiplayer looks like more Halo. They showed off the grappling hook. They used the grappling hook for moving around. They also used it to like grab a gun off the floor and pull it over. They showed off a bunch of different armor types. The one of them kind of had this like samurai look. So we know Capture the Flag is coming back. They showed off a whole bunch, supposedly coming this year. Darren, what did you think of the Halo multiplayer?
I watching that multiplayer trailer made me realize how much I actually miss Halo multiplayer. Like I don't have the
Mm-hmm.
Master Chief collection, so I have not been going back to replaying it. Although me and my brothers have talked a number of times being like, hey, like we should go back and like play some Halo again. Like
Mhm.
I maybe it could very well be nostalgia, and just because that was the kind of game that I grew up with, the same way kids today are like, no game's better than Fortnite. For me, no game's better than Halo. Like that was what I was really into. And it looked good. Like the graphics, it looks like they've improved them to a degree, not like a huge amount. And this is the problem because it's releasing on Xbox One as well, so it has to be able to run. It's the same problem I had with Horizon when they revealed it. I'm like, the game looks good, but it doesn't look like mind-blowingly good. I do think
Mhm.
it looks better than the initial reveal. Um, but yeah, like I'm really really pulling for Halo to come back to form. What did you think of the single player and the multiplayer?
I think the single player we didn't really see enough. They also confirmed like the one of the maps is like the biggest that they've ever done, and it looked huge. I have no thoughts on the single player until we see more from it, considering we didn't see much, and what we did see last time didn't really excite me that much. The multiplayer looks like more Halo, for better or for worse. Like you, I love Halo. I played a lot of 2 and 3 back in the day and a bunch of Reach, so I'm excited to jump back into that multiplayer. And again, like the armor customization looks cool. The samurai looking armor looked really, really visually interesting. So I hope they get a little bit more creative and wacky with the armor sets, because I think that would be cool and a good way to get microtransactions into the door, considering this
Yeah,
will be
because
free to play.
free to
Um,
play is huge. It's huge.
it's huge. Yeah, and they said crossplay and everything is coming as well. So you'll be able to play with anybody who's on PC as well. Halo looks cool. Well, I'm guessing we'll see more from it as time goes on, considering it's supposed to be coming out in the next 6 months. Then we got a short Diablo 2 remastered trailer coming September 23rd, 2021. Up to 8-player co-op, cross progression. Looks like more Diablo. We got a new trailer for Plague Tale Requiem, um, coming 2022 with Game Pass. I have no thoughts on this. I do not want to. I don't want to play this game. Didn't play the first one. Too many rats. Don't like rats. Darren, you seemed more interested than I did. Don't know why. There's
Yeah.
so many rats, but what did you think?
Yeah, this was a game that my parents really liked. Both of them played Plague Tale Innocence. It's one of those really really good double A games where it's just like not
Mm-hmm.
quite triple A, but still has like really really high production value. They both told me how much they loved the story. The gameplay was really really good. Just a well done game. So I'm really happy to see it getting a sequel, because I've always been someone who's arguing that screw AAA, double A is where it's at. Like I want more lower budget games that are doing something inventive and unique, and telling great single player stories. So I'm very happy to see this.
Yep. Then we got a new Far Cry 6 trailer, lots of guns coming this fall. Slime Rancher 2 was shown off for the first time, another console launch exclusive. This looked adorable, super, super colorful. There was lots of vacuuming of slimes. It's coming 2022, also to Game Pass. Then we got a new game called Shredders, which looks to be a snowboarding game, another console launch exclusive, another Game Pass game coming December 2021. The music was super chill. It looks like a snowboarding game. It looks like there was some multiplayer. Looked cool. Then the one that Darren was very excited about, but doesn't really believe exists. We got another look at Atomic Heart, which is, as Darren explained to me, Russian nuke punk, which has like a bunch of robots. It looked like there was some force powers going on. It looked super weird. They had like these cerebral implants through their temples that would kind of like come out, almost like spider things. Uh, I think this game looks whack as fuck. But Darren, you're excited about Atomic Heart. Tell me a little bit more about it, because I've never heard of this before today.
Yeah, I absolutely love the aesthetic of Eastern European Soviet urban decay. Like it's such a good vibe. I love it. It's just so unique visually. And this game, the monster design and like the world design is so unique. But this game is
It is.
complete vaporware. It's never coming out. This game has been like shown off in varying degrees of gameplay for 3 years now, and like every year I see it, I feel like it's been changed enough. Like there's it's a controversial game in the sense that a lot of people are like, I think it's like a money laundering scheme or something. Like they're just gonna keep advertising it. Um,
uh,
but like yeah, I think it's supposed to be like a survival sim style thing. like crafting and fighting, and but there's like a story. Like, who the hell knows? But if it does come out, I will play it, guaranteed.
Yeah, it did look interesting. We got a Game Pass confirmation, but no date absolutely at all. No year, no nothing, but Game Pass. Next, we got a new game called Replaced, which is another console launch exclusive. It has this very like spritey art style for the characters with a very, very beautiful looking background. It's this almost like, again, like not 2D HD to the full extent, but that 2D versus 3D kind of aesthetic. It looks very dark and weird, almost like Fallout-y, cyberpunk style. There's a lot of gunfights. The game looks like a lot of fun. It looks really, really cool. Coming 2022 to Game Pass. I think this is another one of the games that jumped out at me from this entire press conference. Visually, super, super interesting. The gameplay looks like a lot of fun. It gave me very much the vibes of a game that I'm forgetting the name of that came out in the last year where you're playing like a ninja with who has memory issues and like a drug problem. I'm forgetting the name.
Oh, I forget that too. I think I know what you're talking
Katana
about.
Zero. Katana
There we
Zero.
go.
It looks a
There
lot
we
like
go.
Katana Zero. So I'm excited to get my hands on that when it's time. Darren, quick thoughts on Replaced?
Yeah, really into the all of a sudden surge of games that are 2D sprites with 3D world. I don't know why there's so many all of a sudden. Maybe it's because of Octopath Traveler, but like this is on my radar, high on my radar for sure.
Yep, me too. I thought it looked really cool. Then we got a Grounded. There's a new update coming very, very soon, June 30th, for the Shroom and Doom update. Destiny's very excited about this game. She wants us to play it, and I promise we will once we can all properly run it. Then we got Among Us, a new update coming June 15th. There's going to be 15 players per game, also on Game Pass. Then we got one of my standout moments, but one of the dumbest fucking names in this entire thing. A Yuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Looks like it's coming out 2023. Coming to Game Pass, it's a JRPG in that 2D HD engine. So again, 2D sprites and a very beautiful 3D background. Combat looks slick. We didn't get to see exactly what it was, whether it's turn-based or tactic style or something in between. I think this game looks like a lot of fun. They also announced a Eiyuden Chronicles Rising, which is coming out this year. We don't know how the games are connected, but the one that the Eiyuden Chronicles Rising looks much more like an action platformer in the vein of something like Guacamelee, while Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes looks like a straight-up JRPG. I'm very, very excited for both of these. Darren, quick thoughts in Eiyuden?
Couldn't care less.
All right. Then we got another trailer for the Ascent console launch exclusive coming July 29th to Game Pass. It looks like kind of like a twin stick shooter. Me and you both didn't have much feelings about that, so let's keep it rolling. Age of Empires 4, I think it was, coming October 28th to Game Pass and Xbox and PC. If you're an Age of Empires fan, I'm sure you're excited. I don't give a shit. We got a hilarious trailer for The Outer Worlds 2, another console exclusive, also coming to Game Pass. We didn't see anything other than a cinematic trailer, but I encourage you, because Destiny was watching along with us and was cracking up at this trailer as we were as well. The trailer was really, really funny. The narration was on point. It was talking about how like it was a very, very meta commentary on the way that trailers are built, but it looks like a lot of fun. Darren, I know you and I both spent a bit of time on the original. Are you excited for the second?
I am. I know you played a lot more than I did. I literally just got through like the first planet. And I didn't stop it because I wasn't liking it. I was enjoying myself. It was just came out in October and there was a lot of stuff that was vying for my attention. So I would like to go back to it, and I will go back to it before the second one comes out. That's pretty much it for me, but I am very excited.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see more. I'm curious to go back to the first one. I fell off of it similarly to you for no good reason, but I'm curious to see more from the second one. We got a Flight Simulator console launch date, July 27, 2021. There's also a free expansion coming in fall, Top Gun Maverick. It looks like it's going to be coinciding with the new Top Gun movie. Looks like jets. Then we got a huge slice of Forza Horizon 5. Set in Mexico, another console exclusive. It looks gorgeous graphically. Those games are just always incredible to look at. Coming to, like I said, November 9th, the Game Pass. They showed off some kind of story missions and stuff that they're going to have. There's a battle royale mode where you're fighting to kind of be the last car standing. They had a mini game creator type thing where you're going to be able to like make different kinds of tracks, and there's like a bowling type thing. I think this game looks Really, really cool. I've never played any of the Forza Horizon series. It's always been something I've been curious about, but as not a massive racing fan, it's never been something that I've kind of jumped into. But I think this one looks pretty cool. Darian, any thoughts on Forza Horizon 5?
Yeah, this is the only part of the presentation where I think it dragged a little bit. It because I think they spent a little too long on Forza Horizon, but like I know there's a lot of fans and it's one of their marquee franchises, and I think it looks good, visually unbelievable. Like it actually looked
Mhm.
photorealistic. Like if you showed me a photo of real life in that game, I genuinely don't know if I could tell the difference. Like there would
Right.
be like I'd have a hard time. So yeah, it looks like they're doing a really good job with it. Not for me personally, I'm not a big racing fan, but I know there's a lot of happy people out there probably.
Yeah, I think the game looks cool, so I'm sure there's a lot of people excited for it. Then to close out the conference, they talked about how there's 27 games on Game Pass that they talked about. There's pretty much something going on every month, at least one game throughout the end of the year, so there's a lot for people to get excited about. Then they teased us with a cinematic trailer for a new game coming from Arcane called Redfall. It showed off like a squad of characters. Destiny was very excited because there was a black woman with a big afro. She looked cool as hell. They had like powers. One of them had invisibility powers. One of them had this like almost like the psyops elevator that she could create to make it go up and down, to move characters up and down. Fighting vampires. The trailer was very moody. The combat from from the cinematic looks interesting. A lot of fighting. Like there's like a freeze gun. Very very creative looking. Darren, what did you think of what we saw from Redfall?
Yeah, there's been a huge surge this year as well of black female protagonists with huge afros, which I'm super into. That's great. And also leave it to Arcane to keep coming up with really cool new IP. They always seem to be doing some cool new IP. I really appreciate everything Arcane does. They're one of my favorite developers. So even though multiplayer vampire shooter is not necessarily my cup of tea, just because Arcane's name is behind it, that makes me genuinely curious. Well, excited, curious. It makes me want to play it more than if it wasn't them.
Yeah, I think it looks really, really interesting. We got a date of summer 2022, obviously also coming to Game Pass. I'm curious to see some gameplay when the time is right. But that was the Xbox Bethesda show. A lot of good stuff. And as Darren was talking about earlier, the value of Game Pass just continues to grow. And I agree with you, Darren. As you said earlier, there wasn't one game that was like, this is why I need an Xbox. But there were so many that I was interested
Yeah.
in that, like, me buying an Xbox, it's on my list now for sure. Whether it's a Series S or a Series X, I definitely plan to pick one up in the next couple of months. Like this, I was all, like Game Pass was enough of a selling point for me, but this conference really drove it home. Darren, quick closing thoughts because we only have a couple minutes until Square Enix. What are your final thoughts on Xbox?
Yeah, once again, I think it was a great showing. I was really impressed. And also, I want to stress that although most of the games they showed were console launch exclusive, almost all of them were on Game Pass. And they still had, I counted, 7 games that are genuinely console exclusive, which I think is better than they normally do. So
Mm-hmm.
they're doing it. You are getting your console exclusives. I think Microsoft is doing the absolutely right thing to combat Sony this time.
I agree, and I'm excited for this, goodwill and the Game Pass to continue. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate all the love and the support that you guys have been with us through E3 and Summer Games Fest. We are going to go watch Square Enix and have another post show up for you shortly after this, and get stoked for a Darren-led video all about Devolver Digital. Keep it locked. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Go tell us in the comments, what did you think about the Microsoft Showcase? What jumped out at you? We'll see you guys in the next post show.
Ends.
Peace out.
Bye.